Hello everybody! Welcome to this video on primary qualitative data. Previously, you have learned about the types of data, sampling, and about data collection of quantitative data. And now we will focus on the data collection methods for primary qualitative data. And just to refresh your memory, what is primary qualitative data? This type of data is information that the researcher collects specifically for his or her own research through empirical methods like interviews or observations. The difference with secondary qualitative data is that secondary data is existing information from earlier research, which means that other researchers have collected it for their own purpose. But now, let's focus on primary qualitative data. Okay, so qualitative data is information that you collect on people's opinions, perceptions, attitudes, or behavior, reasoning, and processes. And as you can imagine, this is the type of data that you cannot express in numbers and facts, which is what makes it different from quantitative data. But how do you actually collect this qualitative data? Well, there are several options you can choose: conducting observations, focus groups, or interviews. To start with observations. This is a quite systematic way of collecting data where researchers can make use of all their senses to examine people in natural settings or naturally occurring situations. When researching bicycle use, for example, Hannah could have also focused on bicycle-friendly specific squares or intersections. Doing this by observations, you would remain there for a prolonged time to observe or see and record your observations. In order to compare, there has to be some form of standardized observations, defining beforehand which elements you focus on. When your research is closely linked to spatial elements, this can be interesting and an effective way to collect data. Indeed, the last question was quite suitable to answer with data that you can collect through observations. You could, for example, choose several spots within a city to observe how people, or in this case children, make use of the bicycle paths, with a specific focus on what goes well and what goes wrong. As you have seen in the previous video, through observation you can also collect quantitative data. You can, for example, observe how many children use the bicycle path between 8 and 10 in the morning. Another option you may actually choose to collect your qualitative data is to make use of focus groups. A focus group is an in-depth interview with a group of respondents. Contemporary focus groups often consist of 8 to 12 individuals who discuss a particular topic under the direction of a moderator. In this video we will not discuss this method in length because the collection and sampling methods are quite similar to individual interviews. If you want to learn more about focus groups though, there are references to additional literature in this course on Coursera. Now, more used in social science research is interviewing. There are different types of interviews, but they all have the same goal: to invite respondents to talk about their perception or opinion. The interviews can be constructed in different ways or types, from unstructured interviews to semi-structured or structured interviews. And stay with me as I go deeper into this topic. So, when do you choose which method of interviewing? We are going to discuss the three types based on three aspects: pre-knowledge of the situation you're researching, the preparation necessary before the interview, and the flexibility during the interview. These are represented by the icons you see here. Well, first of all, you can choose to use a structured interview when you already have a lot of knowledge or information that you want to check with your respondents. structured interview removes any flexibility and creates a more close-ended questionnaire. This provides zero opportunity to improvise during the interview and therefore needs more preparation, but at the same time enables the researcher to better compare answers from different respondents. The structured interview with a close-ended questionnaire is generally considered a quantitative data collection method if the questionnaire is distributed among a large sample and statistical analysis is possible. If you have some knowledge but require more new knowledge from your respondents, then a semi-structured interview is a better option. This includes preparing an interview guide with planned questions, but keeping the flexibility as an interview. Then you are also able to ask more questions or to ask probing questions related to specific answers that were given by the respondent. Probing questions are, for example, that's interesting. Could you tell me more about that? Or, can you explain why that is? These can be very helpful to learn more about the reason behind certain statements or ideas. But we will discuss more about preparing an interview guide in the next video. An unstructured interview is very open and can go quite in-depth. If you hardly have any knowledge or information, then it becomes very difficult to even make a proper interview guide. In this case, an unstructured interview may be a better choice. You need all the knowledge from the respondents. This type of interview gives both you, as a researcher, as the respondent, the freedom to lead the conversation in any direction. However, if you want to ensure getting answers to specific questions, you may choose for a semi-structured interview. You're right. As said before, if you do not have any information on the topic yet, and you depend on the respondents to share with you all their knowledge, then you should choose an unstructured interview. Well, this is all I want to discuss with you on primary qualitative data collection methods for now. And in the next video, we will continue on this subject and discuss further how you choose your sample and control the validity and reliability of a qualitative research. Thank you for watching.